Okay, g'day everyone, Andrew Dwight here. Look, I'm going to talk today about components inside of Sketchup and what can be done with them and where can they be utilised to the biggest extent. I'll talk a little bit about the development of components and when and where they should be used. Okay, so I've just got set up a model here that has scenes. It's actually a model that has been built. And you'll notice that we have different blue bounding boxes around them, which basically means that we've grouped similar things together for particular reasons. Yet if I click inside of these models, we can look at them individually, and this is just some steel here. If I right click these models, I can go and edit them. So I can change lots of different things about them. So I can change the length, the size, so it might be a different size beam, and you can program all of this type of information inside of a component, and they'll interact with a model, which is really important. Let's have a look at a couple more different types of components here. Let's have a look at some slats. Okay, so these particular slats here, they have information associated as well. So let's have a look. Now I'm viewing these components through a dialog. Let's have a look. Okay, now this is a SketchUp dialog, which means we can change the names of things and we can put in quantities and price and everything that's associated with these components. And this is a reasonably easy component to create. It doesn't take a great deal of work, yet whether you use it over and over, I guess, is something you need to decide. And that's a reasonably simple example, steel and slats. There's other things like downpipes, which are slightly more complicated. These downpipes, they need to be able to be interacted with, so let's have a look. So I can scale it a bit, yet the downpipe will still work the way that it should. Okay, so you notice we've got astricals in there and they're associating with the component, and if I undo it, I can do this kind of thing, which means that we can work with components quickly without having to go to dialogues to mess around with them. Yet let's have a look. When we do have a dialog associated with a component, we can now change things easier. So we can change the depth of the eave. In this case, we can make it say 600 or 2 feet. Right. Or we could change the color. Or we could change a whole heap of things about this. So the gutter width. So for instance, we want it to be centered in the gutter, therefore we need to know the gutter width. A lot of information and offsets and information can be stored inside of a component. Okay. Let's have a look at a couple more. Even things that go inside of other things. So for instance, a post shoe. Right. A post shoe is associated with other geometry, but at the moment I'm just showing you one item in particular. So I can change things about this, the depth of it to suit the size of the timber that we're going to use, or wooden post, the hole sizes that go through it, and things that are associated with it. And you'll notice that it's on a layer. Is it existing, which means you might not want to estimate it and demolish it or whatever it is, and you can have them work out in a takeoff. Let's have a look at a couple more. So as you can see here, these are all working in conjunction with a greater structure. So essentially, looking at things like brick window sills. Let's have a look around here. I think we have some over here. Windows. We're looking at windows. Sorry, I said sills there. Now these windows can actually work the way they would in real life. Okay. They can be scaled left and right and up and down, and we create scripts to do this, yet you can make these components yourself. Brick sills, as I mentioned before. Things like this, we need to be able to change these brick sills and have them automatically work to suit different areas and sizes. Floor joists. Okay, how the floor joists would go together in conjunction to work out. Now these are actually groups. We've controlled them with a script, more for the use or the ease of use. We can also do bathroom components, toilets, shower screens, and they can all be dynamically changed as well. everything, as I said before, works in conjunction with different items of the structure. Capping, these can be components and they can be repeatable to suit the size according to the hip, and we would also control those via a script. Things like trusses, without having to go to dialogues, we can control trusses and we can turn overhangs off and on, which just basically makes the workflow a lot quicker. You'll notice that we require that type of thing when we come to girders. So over here you can actually see that these haven't been turned off, so they don't need to go through there because they're going to go through the ceiling, and that one there shouldn't be there. Have a look at, say, doors. Okay, we can make them open and close, we can make them go up and down, in and out, and we can change them according to what's required. Stairs, we can do the same thing with stairs. Kitchens, so we can scale kitchens, just to make our workflow work a lot easier, and not getting involved with dialogue. So I might want the kitchen to line up with this wall here, and inside of this kitchen I can go in and I can change the kickboard or the colour or anything inside of here. So I might say, well, I don't want a waterfall end, and you'll notice at the end of this bench here will change. So I'll say no, I want it just to be normal, which and go submit. And it makes it very quick and easy for us to work with. Control Z will undo the last moment. Electrical. Now there's a lot involved in some of these components. For instance, this component has 160 different items inside of it. And we don't want to go inside of dialogues to change it from a 5 gang to a 4 gang to a 6 gang to a single gang. We want to be able to control the normalities or the normal actions via the on-click tag there in Sketchup. But there's more to them than that as well. We can actually make these things do different things. So you'll notice down here we have symbols that are associated. We can associate components with components. And we can do a bill of quantities from it. We can go inside of them, we can change the types of switches. So this is a very powerful component that I made. Let's have a look. Dynamic components, options, and you'll notice down here we have a whole heap of different things as well. So if I go and start changing this component and adding, say, I'll add 4 switches, and I went down to here and said, okay, well, what type of switches, because we control different things. So I've got a dimmer. I can go in here and I can change the next one to another type of dimmer, a fan switch, and I go apply. You'll notice that we now have changes there, but we also have changes to symbols. And you can do a lot with dynamic components when you know how, and we do offer training on this type of thing. This all works in conjunction with what we are building, and it goes together nice and neatly when you know how. Sometimes it comes down to the way you layer things, and sometimes it comes down to the way that you group things in layers, and sometimes you can just hide things. So hope that helps out a little bit of what components can do. And I'll just unhide the rest of this model. Okay, there's a lot more to this model, but I'm just showing you the basics. Cheers, guys. If you need any more information, you can by all means give us a call or contact us through the RubySketch website. Cheers, bye.